some really neat things have been developing around homelessness and either shelter or food. There's been some community breakfasts that a number of churches got together and planned. 4 different churches sponsor it, and it happens every Wednesday. We're one of the churches, and so this Wednesday I got to hang out and see all the people who come in, and we just provide a breakfast for them. As well, Michael mostly meets with the ministerial in Cranbrook, and the ministerial does certain things within the community network. A recent thing that was to raise awareness for homelessness. There's a number of, all the churches were encouraged to bring people to camp out in one of the downtown parks. And so they're supposed to bring a tent to the sleeping bag, camp out, and raise exposure to the homeless issue in Cranbrook. And so trying to network through that sort of stuff. It's a community of churches. They hold services quarterly. The idea is to be the gatekeepers of the city. And so how do we gather together to worship together, to build into each other as churches so that we can be those gatekeepers. And so we participate that in terms of that in different ways. And I sort of watched some things that have developed out of this is in terms of what is achievable way your church can enhance the work of the denomination in the next. And my answer would be in many ways and shapes and forms to use the denomination. And I say that because I've been doing a class that I'm taking. I was really intrigued by what Nadia talked about at the MPO and what Rod Olson talked about. And it was around camping ministry. So the opportunity for it, as well as STMs, and what you said about Parachute as a partnership, I think we as a church, being the ugly duckling, we need to hear that loud. Like, how do we Nelson or communities here, Clarestone, it might mean more work, but maybe it shows a different side to who we are as a denomination. The other thing is something that might be part of this summer is a vacation Bible school, so to run some VBS during the summer. But listening to Rod Olson, what he had to say is how do we find ways to redeem or interact with our community so that we can better tell our story and hear from other people's stories to do more effectively. Some things that were developed by Rod Olson and his evaluation chart, just to sort of say what ways are better so that we can be more effective with our community, means that we need to find better ways to use our denomination and use the resources that are there.